Welcome back to the Jarrett Bay Insider. It's a big week for us here at Jarrett Bay with Big Rock approaching. You can see behind me is Iron Leader. Some of our boats are back to get some love before the tournament. And we have some exciting things to show you about our new boat. Stay tuned. We're at hole 68. We haven't been here in a while, so a little bit of update. You can see activity on top of the boat up on the bridge. The paintwork is in full bloom. They're catching up the bumpers and all those things that go on late into the boat. They're also catching up details on hatches and lids. But right now, let's go inside the boat and take a look at some of the closer details of some of the things that are in further advanced stage. We're in the Solana hole 68, and as you can see, the walnut and maple flooring has all been installed. This is not something you just go and buy at the store and it interlocks. This is all made on the saw, cut, sanded to thickness, and then it is pieced together one piece at a time. Ultimately, that gets approved by the customer, and so it is truly custom to this boat. We're almost finished with this, and you can see some of it is already covered up for its protection. The next step in here will be to clean everything out, flat board sand everything, and then start the varnish process. We are on the home stretch of this project. That means there's a lot of activity on the boat. Every trade is busy and every trade is making noise. We have sounds coming from above, from below, from down forward, from the mezzanine. That is the sound of progress, and it goes on for 10 to 12 hours a day. Hole 68 is expected to splash this year. We have a lot more cool stuff to talk about on this boat before that happens. But in the meantime, we're talking about paint. Let's go take a look at another boat. Just came in. It's getting an extensive paint job. We're in the Ramsey building and we're looking at a 96-foot Nordhaven. As you can see, it's a very large motor yacht. And unlike the Jarrett Bay boats, which are always sport fishers, this boat is actually a cruiser. It is designed to go across oceans. You can see the big wave breaker on here. Also in its travels in world adventures, it gets nicks and dings. We can see some scratches here and there. This boat is here for a full paint job. The painters fair and sand and fair and sand and fair and sand, and then they paint, and then they find where there's imperfections, and they fair and sand some more. It's a long, tedious process, but that is the price of perfection. Of all the hundreds, maybe thousands of service yards on the East Coast, we have a number of things here that we can do that most can't. For starters, we have a 300-ton travel lift. If we can pick it out of the water, we can work on it, we can fix it, and we can do anything to it. We have experts in pretty much every field on site. We love sport fishers here, that's for sure, but it is fun to take a look at some of these different kinds of boats and different kinds of projects. But for now, let's go back into our own shop and take a look at the next project coming up. We're back in new construction, and I'm standing on the strong back of what will become hole 69. For the first time in Jarrett Bay history, we have two 90-footers under construction at the same time. We have hole 68, which we've already looked at today, and we have hole 69. We are scheduled to get stations within the next day or two, and this is going to start turning into a big dinosaur model that looks an awful lot like a boat. Now, a little secret here is we have some extra engineering going on, reviewing structures and tunnels, and that is all happening while we're building another part of the hull that is not changing, and that is the cabin. Let's take a look at that. We've seen our cabin jigs before, and we've seen this process before, so there's not a whole lot of new stuff there, but it's important to remember that we're building the cabin out of foam and carbon fiber. It's all infused products. It makes it very light. It will save about half the weight of a conventional built cabin. So we're at the front of the cabin jig right now, and you can see the black there. That's the carbon fiber infused top. It's sitting in place, awaiting the next pieces. The cabin sides are in process, back bulkhead is in process, and for the first time ever, we're going to be infusing this front brow as one continuous piece. But you can see it's going to look like a a big smiling shape, and it's gonna wrap all the way around like wraparound sunglasses, and it's gonna go right around the corner and do the same thing on the other side. Well, in order to make that shape, we've made a mold that exactly matches this shape. So this is the jig for the brow of the cabin. We're gonna plank this just like we would plank a hull, and then we're gonna infuse our foam and carbon fiber on this. And then that part will be brought in here with the telehandler, and we'll set it right on there. Again, just like putting on giant sunglasses. And that's a wrap for this episode. We're glad you were with us, and we want to wish all of our anglers in the upcoming tournament tight lines and good luck. We'll catch you next time.